Donnie Brasco. Donnie Brasco. Donnie mother Brasco. You want to talk about a movie I have set on for a long time? It's this one. Like, yeah, I've always heard good things about Donnie Brasco, which is why I picked it up like 36,000 years ago when FYE was still a thing, but I just never got around to it because that artwork just wasn't doing anything for me. I'm a huge fan of Mafia movies. I love a good gangster flick. It's probably like one of my favorite genres of all time. There's just something so inherently fascinating about organized crime and how that culture operates. It's just out of the gate compelling stuff. A real life cops and robbers, if you will. But there was just something about Donnie Brasco that just didn't really pique my interest. And what an idiot I am, because I absolutely adored this film. Like, honestly, I've been going through these films and I've been watching other films alongside of these ones too. And I've kind of just had this itch for a good crime drama, and nothing's really like satiated that appetite for me. But Donnie Brasco sure did. The film is based on a real life undercover case by Joe Pistone when he went undercover to bust the family. While undercover, he befriends Lefty, a somewhat hopeless romantic for the lifestyle, who just can't help but incriminate himself. Through trials and tribulations of the undercover lifestyle, we can kind of see the effect it takes on Joe, aka Donnie. Donnie being played by Johnny Depp, and Lefty being played by Al Pacino. There's also a stellar performance by Michael Madsen as Tony Black as the boss of the family. Honestly, there's not really a bad role in this film. Me personally, I do think that Johnny Depp and Al Pacino, their roles in this film should be brought up when they're talking about their best performances of their careers. And the fact that neither of them were nominated for Oscars is criminal. It's always nice to see Depp play not just Hunter S. Thompson all the time and actually play a real character. I know everyone always says it's Jack Sparrow, but Sparrow is just doing Hunter S. Thompson in Pirate Drag, okay? Funny enough, Depp does come back this year with another based on a true crime movie, where last year I covered Blow, which, yeah, Donnie Brasco is much better than. Pacino, however, ate this movie alive with honestly a performance that should be seen as like some of the best acting ever. He's so natural and charismatic and believable that you can easily empathize with him, even though he's basically a murderous psychopath. Every scene, Pacino just pulls you in and doesn't let you go. You learn so much about the world through his character, just through everyday conversations. The on-screen chemistry between Depp and Pacino really sells the movie and the story. There's just natural chemistry between the two that allow the scenes just to flow naturally when they're on screen together. However, I do have some issues with the film. I know this is nitpicky, but there is a scene that looks out of focus, and the cinematography overall isn't really anything to write home about. This is a pretty average looking movie. There's also a funny slap sound effect as well. My biggest issue with the film is there's a subplot with a lion. I don't really care if it's a real part of the story or not. It feels tonally out of place and just a section of the film that really breaks up the pacing. Now, the copy I have is the extended cut, which doesn't have the theatrical cut on here, so maybe it's a deleted scene, which honestly kind of feels like one of the scenes that would be cut. I'd love to get my hands on the theatrical cut. I personally prefer to watch the theatrical cut as my first viewing, but I didn't have that option here. Regardless, I love this film. Sure, I was a bit primed when it comes to mafioso films, but with that aside, you have a compelling story with intense scenes that makes you question how it will play out. That is, if you don't know the true story like I didn't. Otherwise, it might not have that aspect for you. Every time Depp and Pacino shared the screen together, I was just all in. The film does an amazing job at exploring and explaining the mafia's world and its inner workings without feeling like an exposition dump. The film has some brutal moments, but nothing that doesn't feel realistic. The film definitely could have developed a little bit more of Joe's life outside of his work, but I think it gets the point across, but I definitely would have liked to see more. This film just really gelled with me and really hit the spot. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Could go up or down on a second viewing, probably not. I don't think it would go up anymore, but I really loved it. Bye.